Hey folks, it's Aquafil again with the finals of the New Japan Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And well, yeah, I predicted it. Will Ospreay was in the finals and he won the damn thing. Sadly enough, not against Kushida, but against Ryusuke Taguchi, or not against Bushi. But yeah, well, I'm not a fan of Ryusuke Taguchi. You should know that by now. You should have gotten the clues I've gave you in my other reviews. But I gotta admit, Taguchi isn't a bad wrestler. I just don't like the hip offense. But anyway, the final match between Taguchi and Ospreay is the only one I'm going to review today. And yeah, well, the crowd obviously was on Taguchi's side. They really cheered for him. And yeah, Taguchi was rather serious in this match. Yeah, sure, he had some of his hip attacks. They belong in his repertoire, and yeah, sadly nobody can change that. But he wasn't as goofy as he at times is in other matches. And well, first of all, after a fake dive, he taunts Will Ospreay. Ospreay, a little bit later, also feints a dive and yeah, does the exact same taunt. And Taguchi, I think Taguchi got from that, well, you better take this guy seriously because, yeah, well, stuff like that really gets him angry, and you don't necessarily want Will Ospreay angry at you because he'll jump and fly with everything he got at you if you anger him. Anyway, Taguchi decides to go after Will Ospreay's leg, which makes a lot of sense because take away a high flyer's leg and a striker's leg, and yeah. You cut out most of his offense. That's pretty effective. And, well, Ospreay sells that quite well. Not as consequently and as great as, for example, a master like Hiroshi Tanahashi does or Katsuchika Okada. But he does it well, and for a junior match which always relies on spots and a faster pace, of course, yeah, you can only sell so much without the match being hurt by it. And he does a good job. So, of course, Taguchi goes after the leg with some submissions. And yeah, it all results in a lot of near falls, a lot of drama. And yeah, the close calls with submissions. And yeah, really, they built the match up quite well. And it was pretty entertaining to watch. Ospreay with strikes and high-flying Taguchi with submissions, technical wrestling, and it was a pretty great matchup. Not as epic as, for example, last year's final between Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly, but, well, it's really hard to top that one. So, still, Taguchi vs. Ospreay was a great match. Deserving final, and yeah, even if I'm not the biggest fan of Taguchi, it was a really nice match. So I want to talk a little bit about the tournament itself. Well, first of all, I like that Will Ospreay won, because if you introduce a guy like him into chaos and have him fight against Kushida for the title a little bit later on his first big event appearance, and he delivers in such a manner as he did with Kushida. And I mean, Kushida is no slouch. He can have a great match with, I would say, almost every junior or other guy in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but that one really was fucking awesome. So a guy like that, especially if you have people like Shinsuke Nakamura or other guys leaving, I mean, you need fresh, young talent, and you see a guy deliver such a match, and you, of course, think, well, we better keep him. And, well, he has delivered throughout this tournament, so I really like that he won. And the tournament itself, well, the first 2-3 days I was like, oh, yeah, well, there were some good matches, but especially the first main event, Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly. That one was awesome. Not as awesome or epic as their last year's finals match, but for a round robin match, great. Simply great. And yeah, you got the feeling that people like Kyle O'Reilly, Matt Seidel, Ryusuke Taguchi, or in Block B, Ricochet, they will sure advance to the finals because they had a massive head start with the points. And New Japan really booked it rather well that in the end, come around day 9, 10, it really turned around, and day 13 you didn't really know what would happen. Matt Seidel could have still become a Block A winner. Kushida could have become Block A winner. I think, Ryusuke Taguchi, of course. I think even Bushi had a small chance left. And in Block B, Volado Jr. and Ricochet and Ospreay, and they really had to fight for it, which makes the Bushi versus Kushida match even more dramatic because, well, obviously Kushida got cheated out of his victory in Block A. And I really love that booking because that's how you do it. You didn't think at first it would be that suspenseful who was going to advance to the finals, and then suddenly it all got turned around and you were like, well, great booking. We don't see that a lot in WWE, you gotta admit that. And so it wasn't the best tournament, it wasn't the best final New Japan had with the best of the Super Juniors, but still there were a lot of great matches. And for a tournament that is nowhere near as important as the G1 Climax, for example, or I think even the Super Tag League is a little bit more important for New Japan nowadays. I'm walking on thin ice here. But we had matches like Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly. That one was great. Rocky Romero versus Kushida was great. The Kyle O'Reilly Bushi match was good. Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. Awesome spot fest. And tons of other matches that were good, at least good, very good, and if WWE had such mid-card matches, nobody would complain about the product. Or for main events for that matter at times. So, great tournament, and it was pretty exhausting to watch all the matches, because even just the tournament matches, because it's a whole lot and I have to review all of them. That's why I kept the reviews rather short. Well, there's still a lot of ahead of us, because the NXT event is coming tonight. The Dominion is upon us. Money in the Bank is upon us. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. And hopefully you'll tune in. Maybe in the commentary section you can mention your favorite matches from this tournament. And well, hopefully you'll tune in again. Until then, your Sacrifice.